Hey there, hope you're all doing well. Just a few hours ago, we got some exciting updates on new content and quality of life improvements coming to Honkai Star Rail in the next patch. This includes a brand new skin for KAFKA, changes to the kits of the 3.0 characters, and some highly anticipated quality of life updates. One of the biggest changes is an increase in the daily Trailblaze power cap. So let's dive right into all the details. Before we begin, just a quick disclaimer. Everything in this video is based on speculation from various sources and may be subject to change. Now let's jump into the exciting news. According to a reliable source with a solid track record, some new skin files have been found in the 3.0 beta, indicating that new skins will be available for purchase in the in-game shop. The most exciting reveal is that KAFKA will be getting a new skin. This ties in with earlier reports from July, where data miners also found files hinting at this skin. As for rarity, the default KAFKA skin is currently listed as 4-star, which might disappoint some players, but it's important to note that this is just the base rarity found in the files, and we could still see 5-star skins in the future. There will also be skins available for characters with multiple paths. For example, March 7th will have separate skins for her preservation and hunt versions. So, plenty of new customization options are coming. Now, let's talk about the changes to the 3.0 characters. First up is HERTA. Her ultimate has received a nice buff, increasing the attack buff from 64% to 80%. Plus, the buff now lasts for 3 turns instead of just 2, giving her much better uptime. This will definitely make her a lot more potent. Her talent has seen a minor nerf. The damage dealt to adjacent enemies from each interpretation stack has been reduced from 5% to 4%. Additionally, the bonus damage in a double HERTA comp has been reduced from 5% to 4%, meaning the maximum damage increase is now 8% instead of 10%. While this is a nerf, it's not a significant one and shouldn't drastically affect HERTA's overall performance. HERTA's technique has also been changed. Instead of applying 4 stacks of interpretation to all enemies, it now applies 25 stacks to one random enemy at the start of each wave, prioritizing elite or boss enemies. This is a nice buff because it focuses more on tougher enemies, which is perfect for modes like Memory of Chaos and Apocalyptic Shadow, where you'll want to focus your damage on the elites and bosses. Next, we have changes to AGLAEA's kit. Her talent now has a slight nerf, as the initial speed of her Garma Maker summon has been reduced from 40% to 35% of AGLAEA's base speed. The speed Garma Maker gains after attacking an enemy with the Seamed Stitch status has also been reduced, dropping from 60 points to 50. There's also a change to her enhanced basic attack. The scaling has been reduced from 220% to 200% for the main target, and from 88% to 80% for adjacent enemies. While this is a slight nerf, AGLAEA remains a strong character overall. As for RMC, there are some noteworthy changes. Her talent now requires 10 energy per charge instead of 6, slightly increasing the energy requirements for charge generation. However, her crit damage buff has been increased from 12% plus 18% additive crit damage to 12% plus 24%, making her even stronger as a supporter. RMC's technique has also been altered. It now deals ice damage to all enemies instead of true damage, and her ultimate has been buffed from 20% charge to 40% charge for the Memo Sprite, which is a significant improvement. RMC's traces have also been updated. Trace 1 now gives 40% charge instead of 35%, and Trace 3 increases the true damage multiplier by 2% for every 10 points of excess energy above 100, up to a cap of 20%, previously 24%. The second Eidolon has been reworked as well. Instead of giving 3% charge when an ice element teammate acts, it now regenerates 8 energy whenever any ally, except the Memo Sprite, takes an action, up to once per turn. While these changes make RMC slightly more energy hungry, she now offers higher crit damage buffs and more charge generation for the Memo Sprite, making her even more useful. Now, let's go over the changes to the signature light cones for these characters. HERTA's light cone has been buffed. The damage dealt to the wearer's skill and ultimate has been increased from 48% to 60%. Plus, the effect that recovers 1 skill point when the wearer's ultimate consumes 140 or more energy now triggers every time, not just once every 2 turns. This makes her light cone more reliable and easier to use in battle. AGLAEA's light cone has been adjusted too. The brocade effect now increases the wearer's crit damage by 9%, stacking up to 6 times instead of the previous 15% crit damage stacked up to 3 times. Additionally, the basic attack damage boost from each brocade stack has been reduced from 15% to 9%. While it might seem like a nerf, it's actually a buff overall, as the total increase to crit damage and basic attack damage is now 54% compared to 45% previously, assuming all 6 stacks are accumulated. Finally, let's talk about some exciting quality of life updates coming in version 3.0. The daily Trailblaze power cap will be raised from 240 to 300. This is a great change as it gives players more flexibility. Now, your Trailblaze power will max out in 30 hours instead of 24, so you can log in once a day without worrying about overcapping. The Immersifier limit for the simulated universe will be increased from 8 to 12, allowing you to progress further each day. A new treasure compass item will be introduced, similar to the one in Genshin Impact. This item will allow you to track basic treasure chests on the map without needing to pull for a specific character to access the feature. A nice convenience for players who love treasure hunting. That's all the info I've got for you today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest Honkai Star Rail news and updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.